I'm Sharon Betters, and you are listening to the Daily Treasure podcast produced by Mark Inc. Ministries. And for these few weeks, I'm sharing some old articles that I wrote and found when I was looking for some research material for writing the Daily Treasure devotionals. And each one reminds me of mundane moments that I would have forgotten if I had not written them down. And so I hope that as I share them with you, they will encourage you in your own walk of faith. So today's devotional is called Security Blankets and Jesus. And today's treasure is from Isaiah 53, verses 2 through 4. For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. I fingered the silky softness of the beautiful blanket and wondered what magical fabric could hold up to the marketing claim that babies wrapped in this blankie felt as though they were back in the security of the womb. We had just learned about the coming birth of a new grandchild, so I plunked down more money than I ever expected to pay for a baby blanket. Pretty sure the manufacturer's claim was bogus, but willing to take the risk that our coming grandbaby would crown this as her favorite possession. 7 years later, I have to accept responsibility for putting a security blanket addiction into the hearts of 6 of our precious grandchildren. As I write, one of these blankets is on its way to an orphanage in India, with hopes this piece of cloth will help communicate comfort and security to our soon-to-be adopted granddaughter. Perhaps the most vivid picture of the comforting power of these blankets is the attachment of our 3-year-old grandson to his original dark blue airplane blankie. I recently observed an unhappy Caleb grab his filthy, smelly companion. He slowly slipped its edge through his fingers until he found a tiny piece of silk to caress with his fingertips. His countenance relaxed, and all was well with his world once more. To any normal observer, Caleb's bloodied, from frequent nosebleeds, and shredded source of comfort is disgusting and belongs in the trash. There is little left of the original silk. His mommy is fearful it will disintegrate with any more washing. Its original beauty is long gone, and there is nothing attractive about it. Anyone who sees it will reject it as having any worth and will recoil at the thought of touching it. Anyone but Caleb, that is. A new blankie, $55. Snuggling with the tried and true blue airplane blankie, priceless. Caleb's bloodied, ugly, and disgusting blankie reminds me of Isaiah's description of the Messiah. Isaiah describes Jesus' physical description as unattractive and repulsive. Yet, like Caleb's addiction to his ugly blankie, those who know Jesus intimately hunger for his touch and long for the security of his love. Caleb's attachment is rooted in his experience, not in his blankie's appearance. Those who love Jesus hunger for his touch for many reasons, but often because his touch heals the hurts, calms the restless heart, and presses peace into our troubled souls. The more he travels with us, the more bloodied he becomes with our spiritual nosebleeds. But those patches of reality make him all the more attractive to us. Those who do not know the love of Jesus do not understand the soul addiction of those who do. When a bully grabs our favorite toy, taunts us with the unfairness of life. When relationships break, a dream fails, a job is lost, a husband walks out, a child refuses to listen even when restful quiet eludes us in the chaos of everyday life. Those who have been wrapped up in the bloodied salvation of God's Son are desperate for the comfort and peace, the presence and promise Jesus brings. Our longing for his touch appears foolish to those who don't know him. They're mystified by the that slips from our lips when the strength of His word relaxes our tense spiritual muscles. And yet, friends, that attracts their wounded souls and can stir up a similar desire to know our Jesus as well. When I told Caleb's mommy that these blankets are no longer available, she said she didn't think he would accept a replacement for his tried and true lifelong companion, no matter how shiny and clean it might be. We tried to give him a similar brown elephant blankie. No, thank you. And so with Caleb's permission, I found a piece of dark blue fabric and hand-sewed it over the original shredded silky cloth. Caleb gratefully accepted this improved version, and yet, somehow, he found little remnants of the original fabric to pinch and stroke for comfort. Only the original, the real deal, meets his needs. Someday, Caleb won't have room in his hands for his special blankie. Baseball bats, basketballs, pencils, and books, and even piano keys will replace the silky softness of this unique source of comfort and familiarity. But he will always need a perfect source of strength, comfort, and one day grown-up wisdom. So every day, his mommy and daddy and those who love Caleb teach him about Jesus' love and how he can trust him with the hurts and joys and need for security, comfort, forgiveness, redemption, and wisdom. Oh, friend, how about you? What is your security blanket? I hope that it's Jesus. Well, friends, it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, I always look forward to introducing you to our latest Help and Hope podcast. And this week, I am going to encourage you to check out the conversation that our son Chuck had with Barb Bollinger. He calls this conversation The Sound of Freedom in Real Life. And I know that many of you recognize immediately that title, The Sound of Freedom, because it's an incredible movie. I highly recommend it. And because of it, there's an awakening of the need to address the issue of child trafficking. In this conversation, Barb, who is the Director of Development from Path to Freedom, where Chuck and his wife Melanie serve as house parents, shares information about real-life child trafficking happening in Southwest Florida and how Path to Freedom is bringing help and hope to these precious young girls. I'm so eager to share this story with you because I've seen with my own eyes what God is doing in the hearts of these precious children who have been rescued from human trafficking. So make sure you go to helpandhopenow.org, click Help and Hope, and look for this conversation that Chuck had with Barb called The Sound of Freedom in Real Life. I'm Sharon Betters. Thanks so much for joining us. And as you go about your day, I'm going to ask you to pray for this ministry, Path to Freedom, and pray for Chuck and Melanie as they are hands-on with these girls, showing them what it means to be safe and to be loved and to know Jesus. Thanks so much for joining us, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow.